you drop it?
Yesterday.
Nice.
Ain't that so weird?
Yeah.
I was asleep, and people was buying it when I was
Look
asleep.
at you making money in your sleep. What is
That's
that
the
called?
goal.
Optimizing your time.
Yeah.
What is that you?
I just released some.
He's
like
an author.
four like books. To
Oh, you
help.
did it.
I did it. I released
Yes.
it. And people,
Yes.
and people bought it.
You weren't supposed to say that.
No, I told y'all what I was going
You did say you were gonna call it out, but
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, I released it. You know.
it's still a book.
Yeah, I released it, 4 of them. I released it last night or yesterday, and I was asleep, and I woke up, and like people bought it like 1 a.m., 6 a.m.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, that's so cool.
It is.
Making money in your sleep. Wow.
What they
Okay, that's a song, Michael. Now you make a song about it.
About what?
Making money in your sleep.
Oh, have we started it?
Yeah,
I think we
I
actually.
think so.
Camera's rolling.
Cameras rolling.
Yeah, it's on.
It's a lot of color in that. There's a lot of color.
Does that bother you?
Is
Not
there
at all.
is the red is
Can't
the
wait to
green
see
cap
it.
in it? Is the green cap in it?
That looks okay. Is the what?
Green cap in it?
I don't think so.
Oh,
What's it?
Her, the
Like
water,
the-
the coconut water top.
yeah. It's not.
Oh, no, it's
Yeah, it's not. You were saying it like.
no, it's not in it.
Oh, so we're starting.
Mhm.
We're
Are
rolling.
these the only 2 cameras?
Yep.
Yeah, we're rolling actually.
Yeah, no, we are.
Wow.
Well, hey guys, welcome to the third, can I hear this? Hood Orchestra podcast. We have a new special guest today. But she's not very new. She's actually been a part of the Hood Orchestra movement since the very beginning. This is just her first time on the podcast. So would you like to give a little introduction?
Well, I'm Karen Prince. I am the mother of Michael Prince.
Mama!
Yes.
Thank you for
And
having
the
me.
grandmother of Ernie.
Yes, this is a grand dog. There's another story behind that. It's for another podcast.
Oh, period. Okay, so what role have you played in Hood Orchestra this year? What part have you taken on?
Well, as one of the original, founders, right?
Absolutely.
To establish the organization, and I've just been trying to do a lot with the compliance, and just setting up the organization, the structure. But you've been helping me as well with the all those things that are required of a nonprofit. I don't claim to have much creativity, so I'm just trying to, again, just make sure we have our ducks lined up in the row, and that things are done decently and in order. And I'm learning and evolving, as we go. So that's a lot. And then, of course, helping out with the events.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the compliance because
Yeah.
we're a 501c3.
Yep.
And that's all you. I mean, you took
Thank
a lot of
you.
the work on the legal side, so
Yes,
we
I
appreciate
see.
that.
I think legal and financial, and I in the role, and I said this aloud recently. I don't ever want to be discouraging or seem like I'm discouraging and always disagreeable about ideas. I said, well, my job is to think what can possibly go wrong, and then find ways to fix it and prevent things from going wrong. That's the approach I like, the way I like to see it. So.
Yes. Well, one thing that went really right today is your color matching. Look at your lipstick and your shirt. They go together perfectly.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. For a while, for a long time, I got out of the habit of wearing lipstick during the pandemic. Because we were wearing masks all the time. So I'm just now building up my, my lipstick
Your little
collection.
collection.
So thank you. I'm glad it's coordinated. That's very important.
Yeah, it looks really good. So we're going to go ahead and do our introductions. I'm Alani Butler.
I'm Khalil B. Martin.
Gabrielle Moore.
I'm Michael Prince.
So, for today's topic,
I think you have a great topic. We talked a little bit earlier, and you said something about a topic you had, and I would love to hear about it.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking about how, maybe more from your family standpoint, talk about the responses of your families. How I thought about how each of you had, all college educated. Congratulations! I'm just, excited about that and just proud of that. And you all had specific, degree plans that, on the surface, they appear to be degrees that lead you to a specific, role, a specific type of profession. Yet this is where you are, doing this creative stuff. And sometimes as parents, we're not all, just so excited about, that initially, right? But so I was just wondering, just wanted to hear, kind of talk about that, about your paths and what got you here and how your families, or even your parents initially responded and how they support you in that now or not. While being respectful to our parents, of course.
I think it's a pretty good topic.
Think
Yeah,
so?
I think so too, yeah.
What about you? Like robotics?
Well, no, not robotics.
That was just a slip. That was a slip up. It wasn't quite robotics,
It's not
but
robotics.
no.
It's like
prosthetics,
Prosthetics.
and orthotics.
And orthotics. And physical therapy. So you were on the path. You majored in you were physical therapy, right?
Yep, and my concentration was, like I said, prosthetics and orthotics. So false limbs. That was.
Not robotics.
Yeah. Right. That was me.
There's
that was
a
my
part of
slip
that
up.
in it, but
yeah.
not specifically just robotics.
And then Michael was.
I was just music education, violin. That was it's like my first passion when it came to like a job was mechanical engineering, but then I just flopped/switched back to music, and then I realized midway through the music that it was my purpose and passion, but the way I was doing it currently wasn't my purpose and passion, and then I kind of switched that, and then just all aligned into what ultimately was my purpose and passion.
Because I remember you were music education, and you said that you weren't really being developed enough as a musician. And so, and it was, in junior year that you discovered and still managed to finish in 4 years, faster than both of your parents did. But yes, even with them change of major. But again, we, but still we thought music performance meant, okay, maybe he'll work, go play for a symphony, go to grad school. But no, we're here. And so and go ahead.
I was gonna ask, did we all change our majors?
Right. No one.
No, because I was originally biomedical engineering, so. But I switched.
Biomedical engineering.
Again, prosthetics.
That sounds
was
so
what I wanted.
hard.
Yeah, it was fun. It was more behind the scenes. I like to be
and you chose
with people.
Camera?
Yeah. After.
Isn't it interesting?
Tell me about why, what.
I mean, it's camera, photography and videography has always been something that's been a part of my life, in my childhood, but I didn't really realize it. In high school, we had a school news. Every day the school would put on the YouTube video that the school would make, and I was in that class, so we would record the videos. My teacher, he taught me how to edit using iMovie, so that was really the foundation of where this came from. And then as I got in college, I just got a camera, started taking pictures at parties my freshman year, and people were like, oh, we'll pay you to come to our event and take pictures. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was just doing it for fun. And it just grew from there. Yeah. But I didn't become a business owner until after college. I worked in my field for a year and a half, and then I quit and went full-time in my business. It's a journey.
And you were engineering too, right?
Yes. I was engineering back in the day. I went to school for mechanical engineering, kind of similar to you. I did graphic design in college though.
Okay.
So kind of similar to you. And And then once I graduated engineering, my mom actually, this is a fun fact. So I worked at the engineering company for about 1.5 years, right? And I was telling her, like, I do not want to do this. And she was like, stick it out. It's a good career. You make good money and all of that stuff. And then I never forget, I got the job offer from Meta to go, like, do, like, program management with Meta, like, in tech. And I told my mom, and she was like, I don't know about that one. That seems like, you know, not safe and secure. And it's just so funny because she was, like, iffy about me switching from engineering to working for, like, a tech company, which is, like, you know, one of the biggest ones in the world.
Right.
But even then, the photography and camera stuff, I'm sure she was probably like, oh, my goodness. How you go from engineering to tech to getting it grinding every day, you know? So it was different.
Wow. Tell us about what were you majoring in?
I
How
mean,
did you
I didn't really change my major. In high school I wanted to do engineering actually, but then I went to college and I did business at UT. And I had that degree the entire time. Like I had that major the entire time. I added on a couple like different things though. I had a certificate in ethics and leadership in law, politics, and government, and a minor in African American studies. So whatever interest I explored, I just explored through like certificates and minors. And then after graduating, I decided to not do the typical, what is that called? Like in the beginning of the semester when you like go on all the interviews, recruiting. Like I didn't participate in recruiting season because I just knew I didn't want to go corporate because I interned with Abercrombie, and that was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I was like anti-corporate after that. So then when I graduated, I was like, I know that that's not what I want to do. And it was crazy because I chose Abercrombie because it's in fashion, and I was a merchandising intern. And I was like, ooh, I think I'm really going to enjoy this. And I didn't, mostly just because of, like, the politics and social aspect of working in corporate at a place that's supposed to be, like, liberal and have these liberal ideas. And it was still very, what's the word? Separate? I don't know. I don't want to get into that right now. But yeah, so I decided not to do the corporate thing. And so after I graduated, I was kind of just like figuring out what I like to do. And I kind of got into like modeling and creative directing, and then landed in styling. So now I'm a stylist. But I never had one set goal or idea of a career I wanted. Like, I've never in my life, like, just had one thing I wanted to be for the rest of my life. I always wanted to live a lot of different lives and have a lot of different careers and jobs and just explore myself through work and my passions. So this is just another, like, little piece of my journey, a little piece of my story. And then, you know, in a couple years, I still want to, like, go back and get my master's and a PhD and, like, other stuff. And so we'll see. This is just, like, a little piece. This is what I'm doing for now. But, yeah, I'm a stylist, and I'm loving it. I'm having a great time.
Wow. And what does that entail?
Like, I'm a personal stylist for individuals.
Oh, I could use one of those.
Yeah, so, like, I'll do, like, fashion weeks or, like, red carpet
matching
events or, like, events like that.
Oh, okay. But
I do
personal
every day,
individuals,
too.
like individuals who need to
Yeah, for people.
upgrade their image.
Upgrade, or, you know, like, celebrities just go to a lot of events that they
Okay.
need to be styled for.
Oh, gotcha.
So more so that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
How about you?
Wow. Good question. Ooh, it's a story. Let me try to make a long story long. Let's see. Start off with University of Texas at Austin. Okay, orientation week. I walked in as an engineering major as well. By the time orientation was over, I switched to business pre-med with the idea I'd already set myself up for failure because I said I had was majoring in business, so I have something to fall back on in case I I guess sprain my ankle trying to go for a touchdown, right? That's the kind of mindset you have for sports, right? Have something to fall back on because injuries are inevitable. But as a major, I was already kind of planning to fail because I wanted to major in business again. And although there's a way that can work too, that has a good purpose and a reason, but business pre-med. So fast forward, because I've always been passionate about health and wellness, but anyway, fast forward, my first job out of college was at a diet modification clinic.
Wait, did you graduate with a degree in business?
Oh, thank you. No, I did not. So did not make it to the business college. So hats off to you for even getting into the business college at the University of Texas at Austin. Not an easy path. So a lot of us often we landed in the College of Liberal Arts. So that's where I graduated from the College of Liberal Arts at the University of Texas with a degree in economics. So, but after college, I still was still holding on to the pre-med and doing the sciences, right, and taking a few courses in hopes of applying to medical school. But I went to work for Baylor College of Medicine in their diet modification clinic. That program ended, and so, but a friend reached out and said, "Hey, there is a opening at a school for a teacher aide position." One of my friends said, "You didn't graduate from the University of Texas to get paid that little bit of money and go be a teacher aide." But I still just, hey, what was I going to do? I needed a job. I went on and did that. And the story I tell is that when I left that interview and saw those children, the emotions, were overwhelming. I just felt like, this is perhaps a calling. Worked among some dynamic teachers. Shout out to McGregor Elementary in Houston Independent School District. Some dynamic teachers, and found out about an alternative certification program. So there, how I landed in education. Spent 12 years in elementary education, but the last, what's the math? 22 years in higher ed. So that's where I am now, teaching future teachers at Lone Star College North Harris, and helping out with Hood Orchestra. So it's just that's where I am. So still somehow trying to impact young people in some way.
Hi, Katie here with Heartbeat.
Oh, Khalil, is this a part of the podcast? Is that what you've been doing, looking up stuff for the podcast? Is that how you landed on this? That kind of interrupted the podcast? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I'm actually...
Oh, or are you going to leave this and get off of here because we're shooting a podcast right now?
And we're back.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
So, I have a question. How were y'all's parents with your career choices, your current career choices? Were they supportive? Or was it they were hesitant? Or, yeah.
I think for me, they really just didn't fully understand the vision that I had in my head because they weren't yet completely familiar with the Russell's vision. Because it's out there, it's so I feel like it's screamingly obvious, what he's built, the infrastructure, everything, how he's doing it independently, how he's doing it with a team of literally just 2 people running a lot of stuff, and just how the power of social media and having a community, and how everybody out there in the Bay Area knows him, but he doesn't have any of the management or doing anything the normal way. So it's I feel like it was hard for them to understand, or at least my dad more understand it, until it's people started confirming me in random places where it's oh, we see you online and this and that, and then they kind of started understanding, this is actually real life, not just on the internet. But after that, it was they just slowly, they've always been supportive. That's the one thing. I'm blessed to have always had support, but now it's just they're starting to see where they can help even more to like actually drive stuff and be a part of the vision.
Like Daddy's like your biggest promoter,
Yeah.
you know, with him being
Literally.
old school, right? So even
And
though
giving
we,
him promotion materials now, like to just give out the
Oh,
business cards,
yes.
it's like he has something where it's like easier for him to actually get my name out there.
in Buc-ee's, in
Literally anywhere.
grocery
Like,
That's
stores.
so dope.
and just be driving down the neighborhood and see somebody and like pull
People
over
stop,
and give them your
yes.
business
You know,
card.
that's how you supposed to do it though.
Uh-huh. That's
Like,
how people used to do
Yeah,
it too.
you
so
gotta let
it's
everybody
like,
know what you do. Like, I don't care who you are. This is what I do. You know.
Mhm.
And he mentions the Russell also in the conversation as well.
Put them people on.
That's so dope.
That is so sweet.
So one thing I noticed with the engineering, all these former engineering, whether you majored in it or whether you from
Had interest in it.
fourth grade all the way through
Yeah.
first semester, senior year in
Yeah.
high school.
We hit on that a little bit on the last episode
Yeah, that's that
too.
creativity
And I was
part.
trying to think, and I do think it has a lot to do with the problem-solving, creativity aspect. But when you're in elementary school, middle school, high school, they don't push you towards doing something in the arts because it's not stable. It's just not seen as important. But I think a lot of people who love creativity and love problem-solving usually love math. I was obsessed with math.
Yeah.
Like
I love
math
math.
was
Favorite subject.
everything to
Yeah.
me. I would skip lunch
I-
to go and sit in my teacher's classroom and be doing math problems. So that was kind of like my pipeline. But I do think like
Yeah.
people who are, a little bit more into creativity kind of do steer toward STEM a lot of times.
That is so interesting. It's like a thought process though. Like I was on Twitter or X. I was on X, and
Call it Twitter.
they were hyping up this book called like Think Like a Scientist and Engineer or something to help with like design aspects. And I was like, dang, I don't need to read the book. But
Wow.
but like it makes sense though, cause like you gotta.
Right.
What's so funny about that?
Anything to get out of reading, like, please.
I know. I was just like, dang, I don't need to read that book. Like,
Because you could have written the book, right?
yeah, technically.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like some problem solving thing. Because really,
Right.
all creativity is just being able to solve problems.
Right, right.
You know?
So what about your parents? How they responded, to... Because I was like, for Michael, I was like,
Oh, not your eyes getting big. What about your parents?
I was like, that money I paid for your violin lessons, I want all my money back.
Ooh.
No, just for a brief moment. But then, no, but seriously though, I'm learned as a parent that it's a new chapter, and we have to pray even harder for our adult children than we did for your young children. But I'm proud of y'all. So what was the initial responses to yours, to the change in direction?
I didn't tell anybody.
Oh, you didn't tell them, you just showed them.
No, yeah, I didn't tell anybody. I really just woke up one day and said, this is what I want to do. And then 4 months later, everyone's asking, how's the job going? I'm like, what? So yeah, so
Okay,
I didn't
job
tell
is
anybody.
going well. Okay.
So I didn't give anybody a input in.
Okay.
But my mom, she's super supportive though. Like,
Okay.
everything. Like I think she's like my biggest fan. You know, that's been like that since birth though. She's always told me I can do anything I put my mind to. So.
And y'all believe it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
We say that, and then y'all actually believe it and
But
go
I-
do anything.
I think that's what you're supposed
Right,
to do though.
right,
Because
right.
like
That's awesome.
the thing that gets people, that stops people from doing what they want to do is they just don't actually believe it. But
Right.
the more that you believe in it, like you can
Right.
really kind of do anything you really want to do.
Right, right.
And so that power of belief that was instilled to me by my mom, I think that's like a superpower, you know?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
everything I wanted to do in life, like I tried to do it. Like when I was younger, I used to want to be a preacher, so I would go to school in full suits, in elementary school, and I would touch
Okay.
people's heads and pray on them.
Okay.
I wanted to be Blue's Clues. I had the Blue's Clues outfit, and then I wanted to be
Preacher
Tiger
Blue's
Woods, and then I had the Tiger Woods outfit. I would go to school. So
Okay.
everything that I want to
You
be a forensic
definitely-
scientist.
Right.
had the little brush, and I would get people's fingerprints from their water bottles and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I wanted to be a storm chaser. So what did I do? I waited for the storms. And you know what I'm saying? So
Wow, that's awesome.
I think it's just a
I
power
love
belief
that.
that
What a little
like
You're a
character
fun
you are.
kid. You're a
Yeah.
fun kid.
A lot of lives.
no, literally.
He
So
lived his life.
like so when I look at what I do now, I'm like, oh, it doesn't surprise me.
Right.
But I think there was a period between like high school where like, you know, middle school where it's like, oh, be realistic, go do something, you're very smart, go do engineering and stuff. And I listened for a little bit. And then I stopped listening, and now we're here.
I remember being in Sunday school class, and multi-generational class, right? And a younger person, maybe Gen Z, no, not Gen Z, maybe a millennial, maybe. And she said, she's pointing to talk about us older folks. You all value security. Our generation values opportunity. I said, whoa, it's powerful. I said, that's because we were always taught, do something, even, what I was taught, do something, this is secure. Yeah, I was told engineering, STEM, that's secure. There's jobs in those fields, even though those things change. But that's what, my dad, hats off, thank you for your service. But he went into the military because that was his safe way out of, his circumstances and kind of expected the same of me. But anyway, that's a whole nother story and podcast as well. But yeah, that's amazing. How about you?
I think my mom has always been very supportive, biggest fan, biggest cheerleader. But if I wouldn't have gotten that college degree,
Yeah.
I think having that stability was really all she needed. As long as I had the college degree, I could have done anything I wanted while also pursuing my college degree.
There you go.
Like if I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to be, because she really does believe I can be the best at whatever I do and whatever I put my mind to.
Right.
As long as I have my college degree.
Right. Want
So
that paper in
now
hand.
that I graduated and she saw everything I accomplished, like going through school, because I was a busybody, like all through high school, all through college, like in all the organizations, president of the organizations, pledge, like did all the things. So I think that kind of satiated whatever desire she had for me to excel in whatever,
Right.
like what, like I
Right.
accomplished what she wanted me to accomplish. So then past
Right.
that, now that I've graduated, she's like, okay, girl, do your thing.
your thing.
And like as long
That's
as I'm,
awesome.
doing something I'm happy and I'm passionate about it, she's very supportive.
That's funny you mentioned that because I told Michael when things started picking up, it was his senior year, and things started picking up with his recognition, and that's when the relationship with the Russell started, and he was in and out, and he had support from the College of Music. Thankfully, they were supportive of him actually doing music. I said, boy, I don't care if you get a Grammy. You better get your degree. that was the same thing. We were like holding our breath that things wouldn't take off too fast, too fast, that he would stop a semester short of getting his degree. So yeah, I can relate to your mom's feelings on that. Definitely. Wow.
I feel like my story is pretty similar. Like my mom, super supportive of anything that I do, but she was like, have that college degree to fall back on. Like even with me like having my own business now, like my parents are still like, well, you need to have a backup plan. Like you can have a part-time job or try to get in on a 401k. Like they always want that like security, but for me it's like it's not even like that's not the goal. My career path isn't like theirs. Like my mom's in education, my dad's in law enforcement, so very like secure, stable jobs. They're looking at retirement. They're like, you're not gonna have a retirement, and it's like, because the path that I'm working on, I'm gonna be able to retire way before any sort of retirement, But they're 100% supportive. They share my business cards and stuff whenever they can, or like share my stuff on Facebook or try to get me booked wherever. But I think that sense of security is definitely something that our parents are like looking at, and they're like, you're just going the opposite way. But at all, they just support, you know. I think they're happy to see that we're happy doing what we're doing. You know, I think that's the biggest thing.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like, especially for my mom, she wasn't able to get her degree. So now that I have mine and I get to do something that I'm like really passionate about, she's like, oh my gosh, like everything I could have ever dreamed of, you know, like everything she wanted for herself, like I'm able to have. She's awesome. Big supporter, just wants the best. So yeah, that's how my mom took it. There wasn't really even anything to take. Like, after I graduated, it was literally like whatever I do at any point. She's
that's awesome.
gun-ho.
Right.
Mine were hesitant because I worked in my career. Like, I was working in Atlanta, had a job. I was working at a nonprofit, working with youth and veterans with physical disabilities, and we were doing sports. So I, like, loved my job, and I was, like, super passionate. But I was doing photography on the side, and it was like, it just got to a point where I had to pick, and they were like leaning towards my original job, and I'm like, I don't know, I might just jump off the deep end. But it just came down to like praying about it and just feeling like peace in my decision, and then just going with it. Like,
I will say, I feel like if I gave my mom that little taste of security though, because like you kind of like you're like psych, like so I feel like if I would have went into business and then tried to be like I'm leaving my stable job that I could get, like, she probably would have been a little hesitant too, but like ever since my senior year I was like, nah, I don't know, I'm probably not going to do this. Like, I withdrew from recruiting season. I was really like, no, I'm not doing corporate. So I kind of like got her set up for what was gonna come, you know.
Yeah,
but
had no idea.
Yeah, they had no clue with you, so I can see like a little bit of hesitation for sure.
See, but even the degree, you know, you have degrees that prepare you for a specific, you know, career job, right? But just the, I think the experience, right, of being in college, and I think you learn and gain so much that is helping you with this path. Even if you appear on the surface as, oh, you're not using it, but you are using it.
Yeah,
You're using that experience and knowledge.
Sure.
Facts. I think everything I do is basically what I did in college. Truthfully, like I was president of organizations.
Right.
I started this like online community of all the black people at Oklahoma State University on accident, and like they used it for like a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I started an organization on campus. So everything I'm doing now, just instead of doing it for the betterment of the campus, I'm doing it for the betterment of like creatives.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like, for me, everything that I've been doing is like, I haven't really ever been like just stagnant, not working, not unsure of my passion. It's like I'm always just like working and doing stuff, even if it seems like, why are you doing this? It's like I'm just constantly working. I'm like, just trust, just working. Like going to the studio all the time, and then just like seeing how that turns into the music all over the place. Like just that, it just continues. It's just been a cycle of just working.
Wow.
I feel like we talked a lot about how great a college degree is, but there are a lot of creatives who don't have a degree.
Right.
And I also want to give like peace to you guys too. You don't need a degree to be stable or to be successful. Like, absolutely not. I think for all of us, we see the benefit in it because we did it, but there are a lot of things that we probably could have been doing during those 4 years that you guys may be doing during your 4 years that are equally as beneficial.
Good point.
I will say, you have to be a different type of person. Like, you have to have a different type of drive, a different type of mentality to create that structure and that roadmap for yourself. Not to say it's not impossible, because there's excellent resources. You can get a whole degree off of YouTube. There are colleges that offer classes that you don't have to pay for. I think Harvard actually offers free classes.
And MIT.
And MIT, they offer free classes. that you can just learn a lot and absorb a lot of information. So college is not the end all be all. We're just talking about the benefits because we did it, but it's not always necessary for every person.
I think if I knew I wanted to be
A photographer
and videographer, I wouldn't have gone. But I didn't know that until, like, it was just something that was a hobby. So I feel like going to college, it kind of, like, allowed me that creative freedom to try out different organizations and clubs and see what I liked, and that kind of helped guide me.
Me too. Like, college, I went... So basically, here's the real reason I decided to be a music major, because I was looking at all the requirements for engineering, and then I looked up the most easy majors. Literally, I looked up the most easy majors, and music was one of those majors. And I was like, okay. And I already had started ahead, kind of coming from PVA, so it's like, my first year of music theory was basically, they were like, what note is this? And I'm like, what? I've been doing that my whole life. So it was like, the first couple semesters was pretty much a breeze, and it's like I could get by just being talented, but then it's like it just got into the more like the education, that part, and having to learn all of that, and I'm like, maybe I do want to lean more into the music and use that, because it's like the education degree was partly because of the stability. It's like you have to be education. And like Dad, anytime I would like try to think about just going into music, he was like, "You gotta have that degree, that teacher certificate." But once I started researching and figuring out, okay, wait a minute, because I saw Scott Tissier, who is the professor at North Texas, and it's like he was teaching at North Texas, and it's like based off of just his accomplishments as a musician, as a performer, all that stuff. So I was like, maybe I can just. A, that's another genre and style that I could just attack, and then B, I don't necessarily need a teacher certificate with my degree. I could just get it after I graduated. But that's when all this stuff with Loresso started happening, and I could have gone to grad school, but it's just like I just went by faith, basically, with the music. And by the way, it wasn't the easiest major, because
that's the irony. That's what's so funny about it. It's not the easiest.
It's the easiest on paper, but they don't tell you about the extra time commitment and extra rehearsals and all the stuff that's mandatory but not mandatory on paper, and it's just like, okay.
Well,
Gotcha.
go ahead. Well, this college professor is not going to sit here on camera and say that you don't need a college degree. But
that's okay. You gotta speak your truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. I will say though, if like what you said, like if you would have known that like, okay, this is what I want to do, you would have dedicated your life to it at, let's say, sophomore year of high school, then like chances are you probably would be like same level or even higher, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's just that thing about focus, and I think that's something that...
Yeah, but you have to be that person to dedicate your life at 17, 16, and there's not many people built like that. Khalil, he's kind of built like that. Michael, he may be kind of built like that. Like, there's not... For some people, they need that little extra security or bit of direction to fall back on. Because, yeah, if you started at 18 and you went to YouTube University and you did all the networking needed and you put in all the hours and you just eat, sleep, breathe exactly what, just for the love of the game, with no distractions, at 18, with no distractions, with none of the, yeah, you could definitely make it, but there's not many 18-year-olds built like that.
It's like that transition period, safe transition into adulthood, that even going into the military,
that college kind of provides. Even the military, they kind of have that built-in time, like for you to kind of flounce around.
Yeah. Right. It's really like you gain more from outside the classroom than inside the classroom.
Absolutely.
Because you learn how to make the mistakes. And then it's like you have to learn how to work through the mistakes and problem solve without your parents, but having your parents, as a stability, in the back of their head.
Right.
But it's like you're physically not with them, so it's like you can't just turn and be like, help me. It's like you got to figure it out. So
Yeah.
that, along with just figuring out how not to fail, like, is a big thing in college. So it's
Yeah.
just like there's just stress, and it's more pressure. The fact that like you have to pay for it too. So it's just,
And I think how it opens you to so many different perspectives and ideas, and the network that you gain, and the problem-solving abilities. I don't know, for a lot of people, when they go into college and they don't choose something that aligns with their degree plan, it's probably because they were exposed to something in college that like led them on a different path or to a different route. So yeah, just like the amount that you grow as a person is very valuable. Aside from like your studies a lot of time.
So true.
I would say like my first year as a business owner, like after I graduated, after like working and then starting my own business, I think that first year, like all my clients were people that I went to school with. Like they stayed supporting, like from when I was in college and just doing it for fun and just learning to, okay, I have a business now and they're paying me to take pictures. So it was the community aspect was a big
huge.
part. Like
That network.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Is that, go
What were you
ahead.
about to say?
You were gonna say something.
I said,
Oh, that was it?
No.
You have more to say.
Okay.
I forgot what y'all put me on the spot and I forgot.
Because I was stressing to Michael because, you know, you two were caught up in the pandemic during your time in school.
Yeah.
And so that kind of,
Same.
you too, okay. You too as
Oh, but
well?
it was y'all's
It was my
last
last year.
year.
Okay, but I was stressing to Michael that I wanted him, even though he chose University of Oklahoma, but that's another.
Which is wild.
But I know, yet another topic for a podcast. But I was stressing to him that you know, the importance of coming away with a network. You know, that it's not just the paper in hand; it's the network that you come back with, because you're a student for 4 or 5 years, or 6 or 7 for some. But anyway, but you are a Sooner for the rest of your life. Sooner,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Sooner, yeah, Oklahoma Sooner. But you're a Sooner for the rest of your life, and you always
Yeah.
have that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Wait, where did y'all go to school?
UT.
University of Texas.
UT.
Yeah.
y'all beat us.
You too?
Hook 'em.
Hook 'em horns, yes.
You too, Columbia?
I went to Oklahoma
Oklahoma
State
State.
University and Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Oh, okay. I went to Clemson.
Clemson, that
Yes.
sounds
Go
so
Tigers.
cool. Everybody
Yeah.
know about Clemson.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go. Everybody knows about it.
It's
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, it's a nice little,
I
cute
don't
little
do that,
paws,
but yeah,
orange paws.
the paw.
Yes.
Mhm.
We-
I don't know.
You don't know the football?
I don't know where it's at though.
Oh, it's in South Carolina.
South
Near like
Carolina.
Greenville.
We see them a lot in the NCAA tournaments.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
whenever I'm playing, where I used to play like the NCAA games, I used to always see Clemson
Right.
for football. I think.
Yeah, so that was a long, not the straight path to the creatives, but it
Yeah.
brought us all here to the Hood Orchestra. And I
Yeah.
have a history too, of starting little businesses, little business ventures as well. So,
Do say more.
Right, tell us.
oh, let's see, where do I start? With mowing the lawns in college, before my mowing lawns. Yes, we had a
You
lawn
were mowing the
business.
lawns?
Yes, we had a
Wow.
lawn business, and the irony is,
Wait, did you mow the lawns or did you hire some boys to mow the
Oh,
lawns and you get a cut?
okay, so my.
Because that's
I didn't
My
know
friend
this.
and I, we were in this, and she was going out for the Miss Houston pageant during the time, and I was mowing lawns so I could save money so that I could pledge, so I could Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, because I wouldn't
Say
dare
the full name.
ask my that's right Incorporated dare ask my parents for money. It's enough getting up there to school, right? So we had a lawn business, and yes, my sister and my friend's cousin will tell you that. We did use them for cheap labor to do some edging, but yeah, there's that, and then there was from that to
Business.
yeah, that's business, right? That's how we made profit off of cheap labor. No, I don't advocate that
No.
now. No,
Expensive
more
labor.
socially
Expensive
justice. more social
I
justice.
support everybody getting equal pay.
There you go. There you go. They're
Good,
fair.
nice living.
A living wage, not just a minimum wage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wouldn't do that ever again. But yeah, so that was one, and then Mary Kay, and then there was also I've had, had a DBA a couple of times, and so there's always been that business part working. So I'm thinking, so since I didn't make it to the College of Business, maybe I need to go back and take some of those courses, and that can help with this. But anyway,
Oh no.
okay. But anyway, I don't know where we were, but it brought us all here.
Yeah.
So, man, that's so funny, though. That's so funny.
Well, is there anything else y'all wanted to touch on?
Yeah,
The
one
year.
thing. Oh.
Oh,
Okay,
original.
one last thing
Oh,
about
yeah.
college. There's a way to do college wrong too, though. Like
Oh,
you
yes.
can go to school for 4 years and not get much out of it
That's
at
true.
all.
That's
If you
true.
don't build your network or you don't get out and socialize, it's really a social experiment. So go out, meet people, build your network, talk to your professors, play sports. Is that what she said? Oh, join some clubs, go to tutorials, go to office hours, learn about what your school has to offer. Put yourself in things even if you don't understand what it is or what you're doing. Just do something. Just do something
Outside the classroom.
outside the
Yes.
classroom. Do a lot. Do most of the things outside the classroom.
And you know what I tell students about college too, because I know so many, you have various reasons to go. You go for yourself, for whatever you have to gain. But then the next circle outside of that, my students, some of them, they're going for what they can do for their family as a
Yeah.
result of, the experience and the opportunities. But think about what you can do for the world around you. Your purpose in life. Like, what am I here for? What am I going to do for the greater cause, for society in general?
Yeah.
I mean, you're already paying to be there, so maximize your opportunities. Like,
Yes.
at Clemson, I went snowboarding, and I think it was like $20, but it was just something that they had to offer, and got a whole bus trip.
Oh, wow.
Stay
So
for
cool.
$25 you get to snowboard or ski, and it was like a whole there was just so many adventures and things that
Wow.
Nice.
they had to offer, but
How
I
much was
wouldn't
the
have known
insurance?
College.
how much was the
I
insurance?
know, and I'm really trying not
I
to
know, that's awesome.
because I don't want to.
But
Michael, come back.
he's checking the battery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is awesome. See, I didn't get out like that.
Yeah.
Kind of get out.
But-
But again, it's like I wouldn't have known that unless I was going to stuff or looking at what Clemson had to offer, like different clubs, organizations, or just things to get outside.
But again, if you don't have access to higher education,
It's okay.
Right.
it's okay. There's
Right.
resources to help you out regardless of if you go to college or not. You can still be just as successful. You can still build the same network.
Right.
And there's a lot of resources to help you do
Because
that.
if I'm being honest, I don't think Bill Gates has a college degree.
A lot
I
of
don't
billionaires,
think
millionaires
Steve
have
Jobs
a
have a college
don't have a
degree.
college degree.
One
It's
of,
really-
one of them
No.
started at UT and then.
Yeah, they stopped. But it's
Bill
really,
Gates, I think.
yeah, it's really not even
I had a
about having a
picture.
college degree. It's really just about focusing in on what you want to do,
Right,
and then
Yeah.
locking in and doing it.
And
Right,
You have
right.
to become the person that you want to be.
Right.
You have to do the things that you have to do, and because of that, you'll have everything that you want.
Right,
Yeah.
It's,
right.
really all, it's so simple.
It's like, and
Absolutely.
we always, and what my husband always says is that, gosh, I went blank on it. Intelligence does not necessarily mean having wisdom. It's just knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah.
Knowledge and wisdom, the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Because whatever you do, you need to seek wisdom, right? And have wisdom. You
And you can get wisdom without a degree. Is what
Right,
she's
that
saying.
right. That's the point. You can, and what
Yeah.
the old folks say, oh, you got book sense and no common sense. So that's not good either. You need some street sense too, right?
Yeah,
Facts.
absolutely.
All you gotta do is love the game.
So, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm Alani Butler.
I'm Khalil B. Martin.
I'm Karen Prince.
Gabrielle Moore.
I'm Michael Prince.
And this was the fifth
Fourth.
Fourth,
Food
fifth,
Orchestra podcast episode.
fourth or fifth.
Signing off.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Wow, this is so good. I was like, man, we sound like we love college.